Democrats in Virginia took control of the General Assembly this week after sweeping multiple key races. Democrats took control of the House of Delegates with 51 seats, and in the Senate, it came down to one race outside of Northern Virginia, the newly drawn Senate District 22 race. Democrats controlling the Senate 21-19. The outcome is a sharp loss for Governor Glenn Youngkin and the Republican Party, who exerted a great deal of energy and money to try to secure the General Assembly. Well, the day after the elections, Governor Youngkin spoke, saying he was disappointed.
I'm a little disappointed, to be clear, and I think that that's just a natural reality. But we've stepped back and we recognize that, boy, this was a razor-thin set of decisions that were made on both sides of a number of these races.
And joining me now is Caronlin Vakil, staff writer with our media partners at The Hill. Caroline, welcome back to Capitol Review. Let's get right to it. A lot was at stake in Virginia during this election cycle, including a political fight over abortion. What kind of blow does this leave for Governor Youngkin?
Well, thanks so much for having me, Mark. Yes, the elections on Tuesday were dealing a blow to Governor Glenn Youngkin and Republicans. Governor Youngkin tried to pass a 15-week ban on abortion with exceptions for rape, incest, life in the mother. Earlier this year, that failed in the state Senate, and Republicans were looking to move forward with that again if they won a red trifecta on Tuesday. But of course, as you noted, Democrats retained their edge in the state Senate, flipping also the House of Delegates. And so now Republicans are going to have to go back to the drawing board. Governor Glenn Youngkin said in his presser on Wednesday that abortion is a really tough issue. And so he's hoping that, people will be able to find a consensus, but it's unclear where Republicans are going to go from here now.
Caroline, were you surprised at the outcome, and how's the GOP responding?
I think that, for a lot of folks, we weren't really sure what to expect. I think that Democrats felt good about their chances in the state Senate, but it was sort of a toss-up about how the House of Delegates was going to go. And so I think for Democrats, this is adding certainly wins in their sails heading into 2024. I think for Republicans, I think that, while they knew this was going to be a little bit of an uphill battle, I think that they had tried to see if they could neutralize the issue of abortion by offering a counter proposal with 15 weeks and exceptions afterward. And that's kind of given Republicans a lot of question marks about how to move forward. There's a lot of disagreement among the party right now on what to do, but the party does know they need to talk about this issue heading into 2024.
Caroline, you talk about moving forward. How do the Democrats keep this momentum going?
Well, I think Democrats are going to continue leaning into the issue of abortion. It's clearly showing that it's an electrifying issue, not only in Virginia, but also on Tuesday, their abortion was literally on the ballot in Ohio. Democrats and abortion rights advocates passed an abortion rights measure that essentially establishes protections for abortion up until fetal viability in the state constitution. That was another area where Republicans and abortion opponents have really fought hard to stop that. I think that both of those races are indicators for Democrats that this is a good message for them to continue running on. It remains to be seen how this is all going to play out at the presidential level, given President Biden's, lower approval ratings. But certainly, Biden, his campaign, Democrats up and down the ballot are going to continue to lean into this issue into 2024.
Caroline Vakil, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.